And 3, 2, and 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Back and Forth. I'm Kevin, and this is Chanel. All right, Chanel, why are you talking like this?
Because you're talking like that.
But why?
I'm not doing this with you.
Why? Why are you not doing this with me? You don't know why? We'll find out later. Let's go. Boom. All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to the Back and Forth. Just take this stuff. Let's start it right. There's a reason why we started the show that way. Why, you may ask? Because I thought up the middle of the screen. There's a stigma around us as parents. When you tell your children to do something and they give you that one word answer that may set you off, it's when they say why. Chanel, there's a lot to be wrapped up. I mean, there's a lot to be unwrapped in that one little word right there that children can say to us. What are your thoughts on that word being used by a child, especially after you ask them to do something?
You know, Kev, I may not be the right person to talk to about this because my whole personality is about finding out the why with people. Why do people do what they do? Why do people behave the way they behave? Why do they yell? You know, my whole career is wrapped up in the why.
Mhm.
So, you know, I remember growing up and getting that answer, you know, that a lot of African American parents give is because I said so. And I think that probably shaped why I think the way I do now, because there is always a reason behind the why you said what you said. And so I think for parents, or you know, modern parents, we should not make that the answer to everything. Now there's times where you can't explain why you're pulling the kid out of the street, you know, because the car is coming. But there are times where you can take those moments and have teaching moments and develop character with your children by explaining some things, you know, by explaining some things. We have a whole generation or generations of people that do things and they don't even know why they're doing it. And then they come and see Kev and I about, you know, generational curses or different things that they are facing in their life because they don't know why. So again, Kev, I don't know if I'm the right person to talk to about this because I'm against that whole because I said so thing. You know, I'm kind of against that. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's amazing that you asked this question, Chanel. It's amazing. It's almost like it's one of those things that I have to think about. And I'm going to tell you how it comes full circle. I was brought up in the 70s, 80s, and when someone told you to do something, especially if it was an adult, if someone told you to do something, you don't ask questions, you just do it. Mm-hmm. Now, I want you to think about that statement. You're brought up in that environment. You brought up with that mentality. You go through life with that mentality. That mentality has been passed down from the generation above you. It's been passed down to you. And then you end up passing it on to someone else. And the next generation after that passes on to someone else. So we have a whole different, 3 or 4 different generations of people not questioning why something needs to be done. Instead, we just trust authority, trust the person that's above us to make the right decisions. Well, what do they call it now? They call it a woke environment, woke society, whatever.
Well,
Things change. And you learn that sometimes just because you're older doesn't mean you know more than I do. You might not know the best way to do something. And so we are taught now to challenge authority. Because I remember even with being in the military. In the military, we were taught you don't backtalk. You don't ask questions. Someone gives you an order, you do it. Unless it's unlawful or could cost you your life. Then you question it. However, I even stopped thinking that's a limiting mindset. Because how do we challenge if we are not given the room to challenge or given the authority to challenge. Because just because it was done right or done one way yesterday doesn't mean that today it can be done the same way and get the same results. Things change, people change. Your children are taught, they're inquisitive. They come out that way. They're asking questions. They want to touch stuff. They want to feel stuff. They want to learn how to do stuff. They want to stick their finger in that socket. But you don't want to do that because you don't want to kill themselves. They ask you why, because you may kill yourself. Not because I said so. Give them the reason why you are telling them something to do. And yes, I know as parents it may get on our nerves because they go through that cycle. They're asking why. It just happened to my wife. My grandson kept asking her why. And so she flipped the script on him and started asking him why. And what happened? He got upset. You got somebody who's 9 years old getting upset because he's being asked the question why now, and he's getting irritated. And my wife said, well, this is what it sounds like when you do it to me. And it made him think, I'm going to ask a question I really want to answer to, or am I just asking a question to be annoying? So there's a difference, right, Chanel, between being annoying and being inquisitive. Mm-hmm. So are you asking why because you really want to understand why something's going on? Or are they asking you why because they're just being a child and being annoying? That's something we have to think about as parents, and not just still not just fly off the handle and get upset when a child asks you why and thinking that they're back talking you. That's my little take on it.
You know, it's also a great thing that we live in the world of technology and Google. Almost every child has a cell phone with internet on it. You know, so what I have done when I get those why questions and okay, get your phone. Let's talk about it. Google it. You know, so now I'm teaching him how to find certain answers instead of just walking out and putting his finger in the socket. Let's find out what could happen when you do that.
Yeah.
You know, so now I'm equipping you with tools to find out some of these answers for yourself. Because we also are raising a generation that is very lazy. Okay. That they want stuff given to them or they feel entitled. We talked about that on several shows ago. That they feel entitled to have information. You're supposed to just give me the information, right? Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and do the work. What does that mean? You're using a word. Let's see what does that actually mean? What does that actually mean? And so now you can make a more educated decision because now you have all the information. Mm-hmm. That's my opinion.
And that's a good way to look at it because, you know, as we have to sometimes not say take it down to their level and understand where they're coming from, but having that level of empathy to understand that sometimes a child might just be very inquisitive and they may be asking questions because out of not knowing. Mm-hmm. But when do you determine when that's happening or which one is happening? That means that we as parents have to take a moment to look at what they're saying, and we don't have to answer every time they answer. You know, they ask you why. And you don't give them an answer, and they say, well, Mommy, Dad asked you a question. I'm thinking about it. Let me think about it. Instead of just saying, because I said so, or go Google it. Go look it up yourself. No. They look to us for guidance. Look to us for advice. Give it to them. But like I tell other parents, you don't have to do it right then and there at that moment. That's up to you. Because if you answer every time a child gives you a question or comes to you at every beck and call, that becomes what Chanel was talking about, a sense of entitlement. Well, I just asked you a little while ago, you didn't answer me yet. I don't have to answer you right now. Give me a moment. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with saying that as opposed to blowing up at the child for asking too many whys?
That's good.
I'm just saying, you have to find other ways to address these questions as opposed to just taking it head on every time it comes out. And yes, I know sometimes we got the children that can be in the back seat just asking the question, firing the questions. And you may have to put a little silencer in your ear where you're like, oh, geez, I can't wait till I get home to go into the bathroom to use the bathroom for the next 35, 45 minutes. But we need to understand how to address these type of things instead of just blowing up at them, though. I mean, that's being realistic.
Yeah, and that's a great life skill too, Kev, because sometimes, you know, even in conversations with adults, some things we may be challenged with, and we may not be emotionally available to handle it correctly. And so we may need to say, okay, I need a few minutes. Give me about 30 minutes, and I'll get back with you on that. That's a good life skill to have, instead of in your frustration reacting impulsively. Or reacting, not responding. So teaching your children that that's a good response to have, especially when you are emotionally not available for that conversation. That's an alternative that you can use, instead of just immediately reacting, because you think that people's supposed to answer you immediately, and you're supposed to have an immediate response every time.
That's good. That's so good. That's good. Well, Chanel, I think we've given the people something to chew on right there, even for the vegetarian.
Yeah,
I'll
they
give you
got
something to
plenty.
graze on, so you can have
Carrots and
information
kale.
there. What's that?
Carrots and kale.
Oh, I
Yes.
thought you said
You
something
gave them
else.
some
I'm
carrots
like,
and kale.
I said, what'd you say? I thought you said, what the
I
what?
don't know if I want to know. What?
I don't know, Chanel.
Now I want to know.
It's
What?
okay.
What?
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. We got
All
this. We got this. It's all taken care of. Lord willing, the creek don't rise. We got this. Jeez. All right. So, Chanel, you've done it again. Another great week. Another great topic. I'm going to tell these people to stay safe and be blessed. And what you got for them?
Go ahead and subscribe. Share this with a friend. And make sure you put God first in your life. But yeah, go ahead and subscribe for more videos like this, Kev.
I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot.
Follow us on Instagram too. We always got content out there. So yeah, just make sure you subscribe. But go on about your life and put God first, and stay moisturized and unbothered. Kev?
That's all we got. We out.
All right.